Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
The Tigers' Alex Presley continues to shine against the American League Central Division. 3 more hits last night. Presley batting .381 against the Central. On-base percentage over .400. Hopefully more of the same tonight. Game 3 in this series from Kauffman Stadium. Tigers and the Royals. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Rod Allen, glad to have you with us for the series finale here. And how about Alex Presley, Rod? When you look at next year's ball club, Presley is certainly making a bid to at least be in the picture for next year.
No doubt about that, partner. We talk a lot about these young kids the Tigers have been playing here in the month of September, but Presley at age 32, not only auditioning for the Tigers, but other teams are watching him, but he's playing very well for the Tigers down the stretch. And if he's here, there's no doubt he's going to get some consideration in 2018.
We've got a tough assignment tonight for Presley and the entire Tigers starting lineup. Danny Duffy, this guy's had a somewhat of an uneven season, but still one of the best lefties in the game.
There's no question about that. And before I get to Danny Duffy, I think it's very special that their manager, he has ran out his starting lineup here today for Danny Duffy. This is Danny Duffy's last start of the season, and a lot of the guys that are playing on the field, it'll be the last time playing behind Danny Duffy. So very nice job by their skipper today. Now let's get to Danny Duffy and his stuff and what he presents against these Tigers team. He has a plus fastball that gets up into the mid to upper 90s, but it's this delivery that's allowed him to throw that ball consistently over the plate with pinpoint precision the last couple of years. You may remember Danny Duffy started the season in the bullpen last year, but when he put him back in the rotation, he was a totally different guy. He goes fastball, breaking ball, changeup. All the pitches are lethal. He will throw all these pitches, partner, in any situation. This guy is death on left-handers. That's why Presley the only one in there. He's a tough assignment for the Tigers. There's no doubt about that.
All right, now Daniel Norris on the mound tonight for the Tigers. He is a pretty good left-hander in his own right, still trying to feel his way through the big leagues. Do you see any comparisons between the two starters tonight?
You know, a while back I had them draw up some numbers on these two guys. That would be Danny Duffy and also Norris, because I knew Duffy really struggled his first couple of years in the big leagues. I remember Jim Leland, when he managed the team, he said if this kid ever figured out how to throw strikes, he would be special. Well, he has figured out how to throw strikes. Look at the numbers and the comparison between he and Daniel Norris through their first 44 starts of their major league career. Well, they're pretty equal. So that's what I'm banking on here for Daniel Norris. I hope he goes out. I hope he pitches up to his ability here tonight and goes out and pitches an outstanding baseball game, because he definitely has the stuff to do so. And more importantly, it gives him a special taste, a better taste going into the offseason as far as his mouth is concerned.
All right, now we know this. September really has been tough for the Tigers. Here is a positive, though. They're pretty good against left-handed pitching as far as their lineup is concerned.
It's quite shocking how good they have been against lefties. Look at their ranks here. And obviously J.D. Martinez did some of this damage, and also Justin Upton. But they've been gone for a minute now. J.D., he left way back in July, and Justin's been gone for over a month now. But look where they rank still in the major leagues against left-handers. First in batting average, first in on-base percentage. Look at the at-bats as far as the home runs are concerned, and also the RBIs. They still have James McCann. They still have Nicholas Castellanos. They still have a lot of those guys that have been beating up on left-handers all season long, and they're going to have to be on top of their game tonight against Danny Duffy.
All right, series finale just minutes away. After a short break to the Call Sam studios we go. Matt Shepard, Craig Monroe standing by, and they'll talk about Nick Castellanos and the adjustments he made in his at-bats last night. Stay with us. Tigers Royals Game 3 coming up next. Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. And by Ram Trucks. Go ahead, test our strength now during Ram Power Days. Stay with us. Lineups first pitch from Kansas City next. Back here at Kauffman Stadium, Tigers and the Royals in the final game in this series here tonight. The Tigers starting lineup presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Some changes tonight for the Tigers. It'll be Iglesias leading off, playing shortstop, then Machado and Castellanos. McCann is batting fourth and DHing. Then Hicks and Holiday, Romine, Presley, and Jacoby Jones will round it out. And MGM Grand Detroit presents Danny Duffy.
And Duffy is the ace of the Kansas City Royals staff. He has missed some time this year with a left elbow impingement. He comes in 9-9 with a power fastball that he throws 47% of the time. He loves that slider. He throws that 30% of the time, and a changeup. So pretty much just a three-pitch pitcher is Danny Duffy, but three really good pitches: fastball, slider, and the changeup.
So the veteran lefty will go to work, and we are underway tonight from Kansas City. The first pitch is inside, 1 ball, no strikes on Jose Iglesias.
Duffy has a fastball that will top out at about 96 miles an hour here tonight.
The 1-0 pitch is popped up. First base side, foul ground. Hosmer there, 1 gone.
Pretty much the last time Duffy's going to have all these guys behind him in a baseball game in the major leagues. And most of these guys are free agents. We've talked about that at length the last couple of days. And Gordon in the outfield today. You have Orlando in center field, Cabrera as well in the outfield. Cuthbert, Escobar, Merrifield, Hosmer round out the infield. And Salvador Perez back behind the plate here tonight.
Here is Machado batting in the 2 slot. Kinsler getting the night off tonight, so Dixon playing second base. Tigers have 4 more to go, counting tonight. 3 coming up in Minneapolis over the weekend. Duffy throws a strike at the inside part of the plate. Fastball at 93. Dixon 1 for 4 in the series. Here's the 0-1. Soft roller towards second base. Merrifield charging. Quick throw. Got him by a step. Machado is out, 2 away. That'll bring up Nick Castellanos.
We talked about all the potential free agents that the Royals will have after this season is over, and Duffy could have been one of those as well, but their general manager, Dayton Moore, back in January, signed him to a 5-year, $65 million contract. So they're going to have him for the foreseeable future, but some of the other guys are going to have to leave.
Duffy was part of the 2007 draft, which officially was Dayton Moore's first draft as the GM. So he goes back a ways with Duffy. There's a strike called on Nick.
So he probably had some fondness for Duffy, man, because he was in that first draft, and Duffy was superb last year.
Yeah, Duffy, after he joined the rotation for the Royals last year, was really good. Nick waits on the 0-1. That'll bust him inside. 1 ball and 1 strike on Castellanos.
I know Ian Kinsler is not in the lineup here tonight, but he said in an article to the Players Tribune that Danny Duffy is one of the toughest left-handers that he has ever faced in the American League Central. That coming from the veteran Ian Kinsler.
I would think Kinsler probably has some company in that statement.
Right.
Duffy last year, we mentioned he came out of the bullpen, joined the rotation about mid-May, and he went 12-3.
And somehow his walks per 9 went from almost 5 per 9 all the way down to maybe 2 per 9 from that little 6-week stint in the bullpen. It's amazing the transformation he made in throwing strikes.
Castellanos 3 out of 7 in the series. 5-game hitting streak going now for Nick. Fouled away. So Castellanos hanging tough here against Duffy. Here are the umpires for the ball game tonight. That is Greg Gibson, your crew chief. Behind the dish, you got Jim Wolf, Laz Diaz, and DJ Rayburn. Jim Wolf, the brother of Randy Wolf, who was a Tiger for a short spell a couple of years ago in 2015. 1-2.
He hadn't been here the whole trip, has he?
He has.
Has he?
Swing and a miss. And Nick is out of there. A strikeout. And a 1-2-3 inning for Danny Duffy. Here in KC, and the Tigers in this one will send Daniel Norris to the mound. He is presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
And Daniel threw 84 pitches 5 days ago against the Minnesota Twins, so no restrictions to the amount of pitches he'll throw tonight against Kansas City. He'd love to leave with an absolutely wonderful taste in his mouth, making his final start of the 2017 season.
Starting lineup he will face tonight, presented by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. For the Royals, Merrifield, Kane, Cabrera, Hosmer, Perez, Escobar in the middle. That ball driven down the line, left field, hooking and foul. Yikes. Whit Merrifield almost jumped him.
We've talked about this at length the last couple of days, really the last few times we have seen the Kansas City Royals. They don't take a lot of pitches. They swing early and they swing often, and if you throw them a fastball first or second pitch, they're usually jumping all over it.
Despite batting leadoff, Merrifield has power. 18 home runs this year.
Ton of extra base hits for Merrifield as well. Tons of doubles, 32 of those. How close was it?
Whoa, real close.
Daniel has to make a quality pitch here. No balls and 2 strikes. He cannot give up hard contact here once he's gotten ahead.
Merrifield in the series 3 for 7. He has scored 3 times. Tigers trying to snap a 9-game losing streak, losing the first 2 in this series. That is slapped to right field, foul.
Tigers outscored badly during the 9-game losing streak, as you can imagine. 68-30 they've been outscored.
Ned Yost had his team in the playoff race all the way up until the final week. They were just eliminated. Minnesota Twins, congratulations to them. They're headed to the postseason. The 1-2 is shot towards second on one hop Machado. Merrifield busting it down the line is out.
And Machado playing second base here tonight. Ian Kinsler with the night off, at least at the start of the contest. Iglesias at the shortstop position. You have Romine at third. You also have Hicks at first. Presley, Jacoby Jones, and Castellanos in the outfield.
A little bit of a different look tonight for the Tigers. Kinsler is off. Of course, Cabrera is out. He is not available, nor is Collins or Matuk. Here's Lorenzo Cain. Ball 1 to Cain.
Guess there's some gnats flying around in the batter's box there, disrupting the concentration of Lorenzo Cain.
2 out of 4 in the series for Cain. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And Lorenzo Cain attempting to hit 300 for the 3rd time in his major league career. As a matter of fact, 3 times in the last 4 years if he's able to stay there.
Cain, a really good season in terms of average, as you mentioned. He's at 300 now, but he has 172 hits, and that is a career high for the center fielder.
He is much better in that number 2 spot. When they move him down into the power spots, the 3 and the 4 and the 5, he doesn't perform as well.
Machado ranges to his right, throws out Cain, 2 gone.
But Cain has been outstanding in that number 2 spot this year for Ned Yost.
Do you think guys tend to change the way they go about their business when they're hitting in the run producing spots?
Yeah, I think he does. I think he loves just running the bases because he has 25 steals. He loves going first to third. He swings early and often, so I just think that he probably does put more pressure on himself when you put him into those big boy spots, 3, 4, 5.
Here is Melky Cabrera with 2 outs. Cabrera 17 homers this year. Traded to the Royals at the deadline and started the year with Chicago. 289 overall. Line drive to third, caught there by Romine. Going to be a 1-2-3 inning for Daniel Norris. KC, and Tigers season ticket holders. Renew your season tickets now through October 6th, and you'll be eligible to win our 30 prizes in 30 days raffle for a chance to win once-in-a-lifetime fan experiences. Go to tigers.com/seasons to renew today. Danny Duffy back to the mound, and here is James McCann to lead things off. McCann, then Hicks, and then Holiday as James DHs in this one here this evening. Tigers went 1-2-3 in the first inning. A little bit low, 1 ball, no strikes. McCann is batting cleanup, starting in the cleanup spot for just the second time this year. 1 for 8 in the series for the Tiger DH. The 1-0. Jeimer Candelario is not available for the lineup tonight. He jammed his wrist in the ball game late last night, so he is out. And we mentioned the other injuries the Tigers have had, so they're kind of limping to the finish line, literally.
I guess Candelario has no problem batting left-handed, but his issues were batting right-handed, and that's what he would have had to do here tonight against Danny Duffy, so not in the starting lineup.
1-1 on McCann. Shattered bat, look out. One and two. The barrel of the bat headed back to the dugout, and McCann holding the handle of the bat. McCann this year at .252. He's got 13 home runs. Foul back. Duffy in his last start beat the White Sox. He went 6 innings, scattering 8 hits, gave up just 2 runs. It was his first win since beating the Tigers back on July the 25th. That ball almost into the Tigers radio booth.
Well, they had one at home too, where Jim Price nearly got smoked at America Park that last homestand. I believe it was on Sunday.
Here's a base hit to right field for McCann.
Foul balls are picking on the radio guys.
Well, I hate to say it, but better them than us.
Yeah.
As long as everybody's safe. Here's John Hicks now. He is the Tigers' first baseman in this ball game. Hicks, after having a really good month of August in which he hit .340, is batting just .149 in September, so he has slowed of late. Overall, though, I would say a good showing this year for Hicks. You look at ball 1 inside.
I would agree with that. He's been up and down several times on that Toledo big league shuttle, 5 times to be exact, up and down. Every time he'd go down in the minor leagues, he'd continue to rake, and he has done that up here too, with the exception of the month of September. One and one on Hicks. 6 homers this year. Told you that Duffy had trouble throwing strikes his first 4 years in the big leagues. They started him in the bullpen last year, and he felt so comfortable pitching out of the stretch. Is that he pitches out of the stretch all the time, regardless of whether there's a man on base or not. Just feels a lot more comfortable, and it's allowed him to throw strikes more efficiently. I think we've seen a lot of guys adopt that philosophy, maybe not totally pitching from the stretch, but really a streamlined delivery. For sure. Where it's almost a stretch. This same windup or same delivery right here is the exact same one he will use with nobody on base. 1 on, nobody out. We're in the second, no score.
Ball high. That one was off speed, missing up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Brian Holiday will be next. Three and two.
And by giving Duffy this simple delivery, it eliminated a lot of moving parts. The head stayed still through the delivery. And it's been big for him.
And he got him strike 3 and a check swing. That ball looked inside. Hicks thought it was in. It'll go down as a strikeout, second of the ball game.
I think he caught Hicks off guard here, Mario. He did a slide step here. After every other pitch, he was picking that right leg up in a more conventional way, and he did a slide step here, and that ball just got on Hicks, and he couldn't pull the trigger. It's nice deception there by Danny Duffy.
Here is Brian Holiday. He is catching tonight for the Tigers, batting .263. Ball 1 to Brian. Holiday, good season at Toledo this year, was rewarded with a call-up on September the 1st. He knocked in 50, hit 12 home runs. But I think beyond that, it goes to what all these young guys that have come up from Toledo and the pitching staff have said about Holiday and how they feel about working with him or working with him in the minor leagues, and how, well, he's got a lot of glowing praise.
He takes a lot of pride in being able to handle a pitching staff, call a really good game, take the pressure off the pitcher. Because very seldom do the pitchers even shake Brian Holiday off when he's behind the plate. That's just how much confidence they have in his game preparation. He's a good teammate too. Brian Holiday is a good teammate.
Holiday caught Boyd's one-hitter, the near no-hitter. The 2-1. 2-2 now on Holiday.
Really good four-seam 91-mile-per-hour fastball thrown on the inside black there to Brian Holiday. Now Duffy might go outside with that fading changeup, or he might try to backdoor him with that slider. Slider in.
Pulled on the ground at third, backhanded there by Cuthbert. The second one, and the relay is a double play. 5-4-3 to end the inning. KC tonight. By the way, stay tuned to Tigers Live following the game. We'll be selecting the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game. Presented by McDonald's. Stop by for your breakfast favorites now being served all day. It'll be Daniel Norris back to the hill here after a very nice 1-2-3 first inning for Norris. Eric Hosmer leads it off, then Salvador Perez and Alcides Escobar. Tigers now have bounced into 6 double plays in this series. Of course, 5 of those came in game 1. Hosmer, what a year, 319, 24 homers. Double and an RBI in this series for Hosmer.
It's been his best offensive year as a big leaguer, and happening at the right time. He's a free agent at season's end. And there's several highs in a lot of the offensive categories for Eric Hosmer this season.
I was reading an article recently on Hosmer about what his approach was like when he first got to the big leagues compared to what the experience has taught him now at this point in the major leagues. And he said, when I first got here, I would just go up there and just let it rip. And now I'm more into video and scouting reports. Hard hit ball right at Machado. And 1 gone. 4 straight retired now by the lefty Norris.
Well, I remember when he first showed up to the big leagues. He was using a big heavy bat. He was swinging hard, and he did not get cheated. He has turned himself into an outstanding hitter. I don't know how hard that ball left his bat, but it about knocked Machado over. It's a 3-0 pitch, too.
He still swings very violently, but he has a plan, as he says now. More so than I did as a kid. Here's Perez, who looks at a ball low. Salvador back in there catching tonight. Had the night off last night. 27 home runs this year for Perez. Ground ball to short. Iglesias. And there are 2 gone.
All right now, Jose. Don't you start nothing.
Did you take issue with that?
Don't you start nothing, Jose.
That play had a little sizzle, didn't it? A little mustard.
Hey, yes, it is. Hey, guess how hard that ball was hit off the bat of Hosmer?
I'm going to say 105.
114. Ooh, 114. He killed that thing.
Ground ball, too. Well, more of a line drive ground ball, but still.
Last Diaz telling Machado, I would have got out of the way of that if I was you.
Well, I mean, just for reference, 100 is pretty good.
100 is pretty good. 104 is crazy.
Here's Escobar, and he skies one in the air to left field, not deep. Jones coming over along with Presley, and it's Jacoby to make the catch, and a 7-pitch inning. 1-2-3 second for Norris. scoreless ball game. And by the way, just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Unless there's ice cream on that fork, I don't want any.
Yeah, better get a spoon, Dad.
Here is Romine to get things started for the Tigers in the third. Bottom three, Romine, Presley, Jones. Tigers have one hit, but they bounced into a double play. Andrew at third base tonight, filling in for Candelario. .230 batting average for Romine, 1 for 4 in the series. Just not a lot of guys in the major leagues that can play center field one night and then come in and play a corner position in the infield the next night.
Nope, there is not.
Romine one of them, though, and very adept at playing center field defensively. Likewise, all of the infield positions. Slice to right field. Cabrera's on the move, not going to get it. Base hit. Romine is aboard with a leadoff single. Time now for the Bernstein advantage as Presley rolls in. And how about some of the best batting averages against the Central for the Tigers since 1998?
Yeah, a lot of big boys on that list. Miggy, JD, Maglio, and Carlos. And then you've got Presley at 381.
Heavy hitters indeed on that list. Presley a 3-hit game last night to jump up to 381.
JD Martinez motorcade rolled into Kansas City last night.
Commonly known as the Diamondbacks team bus.
Yeah. With a police escort.
D-backs will be playing here to end the season. They had an off night, so they flew in last night.
Had a chance to talk to JD last night for a few moments. He looks as happy as he's ever been. He was happy here too. He loved playing for the Tigers and said as much. He loved Tigers fans. He loved the way the Tigers fans treated him. Says it will always be a special place for him, but right now he is doing most of his damage for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and a lot of it. He had another home run yesterday.
I know it. And those Arizona Diamondbacks appear to be on a mission right now. Pretty good team. Popped up center field for Paulo Orlando. One gone. We'll bring up Jacoby Jones. Ooh, look at that bird.
It's a big one. He needs two hands for it. Double fisting it.
Got a little roughage on there as well. Make it healthy. Jones swings and misses 0-1. A bender there from the lefty Duffy. Jacoby has 3 home runs this year. 2 of those were hit in one game against the Royals. Runner goes. Pretty good jump and a foul back.
Too bad Jacoby fouled that off. Romine would have had that base stolen. I don't even think Salvador Perez would have even attempted to throw down to second base. Romine had such a huge jump from first base.
Oh, 2 with Iglesias on deck. Romine 5 steals this year, has been caught 4 times. Now they go 2 up and in. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Jones.
All 3 of the pitches thrown by Duffy to Jones on the inside part of the plate. 2 fastballs and 1 breaking ball. throwing changeup now.
Just missed low with the off-speed pitch. 2-2.
If you're Jacoby Jones, you have to always look for your fastball, have fastball in the back of your mind with 2 strikes, and make adjustments to the off-speed stuff. You can't do it the other way around. And what I mean by that, it is nearly impossible for you to be up there looking for an off-speed pitch and then still catch up to a big league fastball in the mid-90s. Just can't do it. Romine, you got to be careful on first base. Perez likes to pick a lot, 2 down to first. You always have to be aware of that. Sorry about that, partner.
See, 2-2, and he got him strike 3. That ball looked in. Way in, as a matter of fact. Jones thought so, but he is out of there, and there are 2 gone.
Yeah, 4-seam fastball at 92 miles an hour. Looked like Salvador Perez pulled it back into the strike zone, and that was enough to get Greg Gibson to call it a strike. You saw how fast Salvador was able to yank that glove into the over the plate.
3rd strikeout of the game now for the lefty Duffy. Here is Iglesias. He'll back out. Strike 1. Off speed down the middle. Iglesias popped up at the first, now 0 for his last 9. Slice to the right side, base hit. Out of the reach of Merrifield. Romine will stop at second, and the Tigers now have something brewing here with 2 on and 2 out.
All 3 of the Tigers' hits today have gone to right field against Duffy. And McCann went that way. Romine did as well, and Iglesias a base hit into right field.
Romine wisely putting the stop sign on there because Cabrera in right field has 12 assists this year.
Since the beginning of the 2005 season, no one more assists than Melky Cabrera. Active players.
Ball 1 to Machado. Dixon over 1 with a ground out. Up and in again. That time nearly hit him. The count goes 2-0.
Duffy has been pitching inside rather aggressively here tonight against these Tiger bats. Mostly right-handed lineup that Brad Ausmus has ran out there tonight, with the exception of Alex Presley.
The ball popped up. Perez calling for it, and that'll end the inning. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left.
1-800-CALL-SAM, call of the game. So far, Daniel Norris has been good through the first 2 frames, 6 up, 6 down, keeping the Royals batters off balance with a mixture of curveballs and sliders. Lots of soft contact so far, not trying to overpower the Kansas City Royals offense through the first 2 innings, and he's been good.
Here is Cuthbert to lead things off for the Royals. 7, 8, 9, Chesler, Cuthbert, Paulo Orlando, and Alex Gordon.
Daniel also has been able to keep the ball on the ground. 4 of the 6 outs on the ground so far tonight.
That one in the air to center field, not that deep, and it's going to be Jones. 1 away, we bring in Johnny Kane.
Hi guys, Daniel Norris looking really good. You know, earlier this week talking with Brad Ausmus about Daniel, and he said, you know, he's a perfectionist. He wants every pitch he throws to be the nastiest he's ever thrown. And Daniel told me, you know, I've always been that way, and sometimes I can get a little frustrated with myself because it's unrealistic. But I know if I keep that mentality, that one of these days I'm going to hit with all my pitches, and I'm really going to take off from there. And tonight, so far, so good, fellas.
Yeah, I would say so. And I was talking to Daniel last year, and he said Justin Verlander was working with him on that, not to get frustrated and just to keep your head down and plow through. And it's something, I guess, Rod, that just is a work in progress.
Yeah, everybody's not going to be a Michael Fulmer. I mean, a guy that comes to the big leagues at 22 and looks like he's been in the big leagues for 10 years. Obviously, Fulmer went on to win the Rookie of the Year and is one of the best right-handed pitchers in the big leagues, but it doesn't come that easy for most of the young pitchers. And Daniel would fall into that category. We talked about Duffy, the other pitcher, on their side. Took him a while before he figured some things out. And let's just hope that Daniel continues to take these opportunities that he's getting as a starter in this rotation, and at some point in time the light comes on and he's able to run with it because he's got all the talent in the world.
Now the 1-1, 2-1.
Hey, just to piggyback there, Rod, I mean, that's just it. He's got the stuff, and everybody who's watching pitch at any level believes that. So, you know, it'd be one thing for a guy to say, well, yeah, eventually, you know, it's going to click for me and then I'll go from there. But with Daniel, you understand that he has that stuff, and once he's able to harness it and get the right mentality going out there.
That ball hammered to left field and deep to the track, to the wall. It's over the head of Presley. Into second base is Orlando with a 1-out double. And he nearly hit it out. First hit of the ball game for the Royals.
Orlando homered in last night's game. That homer came against the right-hander Drew Verhagen. It was on a breaking ball. He jumped on a fastball right here against Daniel Norris. Norris tried to get that ball inside. It was smoked over the head of Presley. Nice play off the wall by Alex to keep Orlando at second base.
Here is Gordon. First base runner of the night for the Royals. Strike 1 to Gordon. Gordon is only 207 this year against lefties, but overall really not much better. 212 coming in. One ball, one strike. Now Norris with the 1-1 pitch. Gordon takes the ball low, smothered behind the plate by Halladay. 2 balls and 1 strike.
To get out there, Gordo Nation.
Looks like it. Gordo on a stick. Norris had retired 7 straight before the Orlando double. Now the count goes 3-1. Waiting on deck, Top of the order, Whit Merrifield. Gordon in the series 2 out of 5. He has walked a couple of times. 4th all-time now on the Royals walk list. High fly ball right field. It'll chase Castellanos back a few steps. Nick hauls it in. Runner will tag, and Orlando will get to third standing up. 2 gone now. Time for a game break. We check in with Matt Shepard. All right, Shep, thanks. It'll be interesting to see what the Yankees do. I assume they're going to get that wild card spot. I think the Red Sox will wrap up the East.
Do they give the ball to Severino, or do they give the ball to Sonny Gray, though? I'm wondering.
Question I was about to ask you. Apparently Gray didn't pitch all that well tonight. That's drilled to center field and caught on the run there by Jones. No runs. A double is stranded. 3 in the books. We go to the top of the 4th here at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, and here's Chevrolet's most dependable player. We're going to go with Jacoby Jones to kind of feature one of the defensive stats that we like to look at. That's range factor, which is basically putouts plus assists divided by innings. So per 9 innings, Jacoby pretty much combines for a 3.22 in putouts and assists. A lot of good center fielders in this division on that list.
I could not have explained that any better myself. Nice job, buddy.
Yeah, I just read the graphic, so
outstanding job.
It's a ball inside. Drew Butera now is taking over for Salvador Perez. Don't know if he's injured or what may have happened to him, but Perez out of the game.
But it gives you an idea of the range that Jacoby Jones has in center field. I mean, you have him on a list with guys like Buxton and Lorenzo Cain as far as his range and putouts are concerned. And that play that he made in center field, he got a great jump on that ball that was in front of him and basically took a base hit away from Whit Merrifield.
That would have scored a run. Castellanos leading it off here in the 4th inning. Nick struck out in the 1st. Here's the 2-0. Ooh, big swing there by Nicholas.
Yeah, take a look at Jacoby Jones in center field and where he starts, and he took off for this ball that was hit off the bat of Whit Merrifield, and he didn't miss a beat.
Engel on that list, Buxton on that list, Cain on that list, and Jones.
That kid Engel that plays for the White Sox got some mad range in center field too.
Nick Brown's out 5-3, one gone in the fourth. We're going to see Buxton the next 3 days. Well, if he plays. Here is McCann. Twins clinching last night, so they are officially in. They've gone from losing 100 games to going to the postseason in 1 year.
That has to be, for me, the best story in all of baseball this season, as far as the team is concerned. That you can lose 103 1 year and then get to the postseason the following year, and pretty much the same team.
Here's McCann.
But I don't know about you. I didn't think that was a 103 loss team last year anyway. They just did not play well last year and snowball. But judging by the way they played the previous season, I didn't think they were as bad as they played last year.
No, in 2015, guys like Rosario, I mean, you could see that they had good young players, Sano and Polanco and Escobar. There's a soft liner caught by Alcides Escobar. Twins lost their game in Cleveland. They had to wait to see if the Angels would lose, and they did. And that set off a celebration. They were in the locker room. They're waiting for the end of that game for a couple of hours.
Grown men. This is when you get a chance to act like some little boys. Brian Dozier, their second baseman, said he can go the remainder of his career, and he doubts very seriously if he'll be as proud of any team or any teammates that he could ever have again, judging by what they went through this year. No one, I mean, no one gave them a chance to win. Even until August, people still didn't give them a chance to stand and get in the playoffs.
Not only that, but they were sellers. Again, they made the decision that because they didn't play well going into the deadline, they're going to sell. We're not going to make it.
Well, they lost 7 of 9 games going up to the trade deadline. It's almost made the team better.
Yeah, in a weird kind of way. 2-1 on Hicks.
Buxton kind of woke up. He's a difference maker.
Three and one. Hicks fanned in the second, 0 for 1. Should he reach Holiday is next. Danny Duffy with 3 strikeouts in this ball game so far. Fouled away.
Read some numbers on Duffy earlier today when I was doing some studying, and the numbers said that he has only gone to a 3-ball count about 6% of the time this year, which ranks very high in the big leagues. So very seldom does he go to 3 balls on any hitter. He's done it a few times today, but overall this season, tremendous at that.
It'll be his first walk of this ball game. A 2-out base on balls for Brian Holiday. Well, he also didn't give up too many home runs. He has allowed 13 this year in 142 innings coming in.
I remember Jim Leland used to always talk about him, and Jim said if this kid ever figured out how to throw strikes and kind of trust him stuff, he could be one of the better left-handers in the American League. And Jim has turned out to be a prophet as far as that's concerned.
There was a time where Duffy left baseball for a spell, wasn't sure he wanted to play anymore when he was in the minor leagues. And then decided to contact the Royals and say, you know what, I changed my mind, and they welcomed him back, and they're probably happy they did. 1-1 on Brian Holiday. Runner goes. Buterra's throw going to be late, and a pretty good jump there by Hicks, who swipes his second of the year.
Well, he went on first movement, and anytime you go on first movement and the pitcher takes as long as Duffy and it took to get the ball to the catcher, Buterra, you're going to steal that bag successfully. Great jump. First movement by Hicks. No shot for Buterra.
Tigers in search of the 2-out hit here in the fourth. Holiday fouls it back out of play, 2-2. Yeah, when you talk about Duffy, it is really amazing, right, to see how that walk rate has come down over the last couple of years for him, because that was an issue.
It's changed his entire career path.
And down goes Holiday. That'll end the inning. No runs, a walk, and a man left. Scoreless game on our way to the bottom of the fourth here in Kansas City between the Tigers and the Royals. Menards brings you the big money encounter. We want to look at Daniel Duffy and or Danny Duffy and Daniel Norris and some of the similarities perhaps between these two.
When I see these numbers, man, I get excited for Daniel because we talked at length about Duffy and how long it's taken him to get to the status that he is at right now. And obviously Daniel's had some setbacks with injuries and inconsistencies and different things like that. But if Daniel is able to get it done like I think he will at some point in time, I think he's going to be fine.
Holiday ran out to the mound after that last pitch.
He noticed that Daniel did something that looked kind of strange to him after that pitch, and he just went out there to check on him.
And both of them tonight, Norris and Duffy, have been good. The 0-1. Lorenzo Cain, then Melky Cabrera and Eric Hosmer. Cain grounded out 4-3 in his only at bat. Ball high, 2-1. Got word on Salvador Perez. He left the game with left groin soreness. That's why the starting catcher for the Royals has departed. Here's the 2-1.
Good pitch there. And Daniel recognizing the fact that Lorenzo Cain looking for a fastball, and rightfully so. In a 2-1 count, he threw him a slider. And Lorenzo about screwed himself into the ground trying to hit that ball out of the ballpark.
When you see that last swing that Cain took, and then you look at his numbers, he's a 300 hitter. I mean, he's got a violent swing. He lets it fly, yet he still hits for average.
Yeah, with 2 strikes, he must just cut it down the hair to put the ball in play. Lorenzo didn't even start playing baseball until he was a junior in high school, and in fact, there is something wrong with Daniel Norris. Brian Holiday noticed it after he threw that very first pitch to Lorenzo Cain.
Yeah, Holiday ran from his crouch and went to the mound to make sure he was all right. Norris has been really in and out of the rotation with a myriad of injuries.
Yeah, something's going on, and he's probably going to try to talk his way to stay in the game. But And the Tigers, if they're going to err on any side, it's going to be on the side of caution with Daniel Norris. Here's that first pitch.
Well, you can see there was no finish on that pitch.
Yeah, it's back. Looks like it's the back to me. And that's why Brian Holiday jumped up and ran out there. Kevin Rand, head athletic trainer, man. He's been busy the last couple of weeks, hasn't he?
He's putting in a lot of miles between the dugout and the mound. And in that clubhouse as well. With all the injuries the Tigers have had. 2-2 as Norris has talked his way into remaining in the game. Full count now, 3-2 on Kane.
If in fact it is a back issue with Norris, some back tightness, and I'm just speculating, he will have a difficult time of getting the ball down in the strike zone. Good breaking ball there that he was able to get down. The previous fastballs were up in the strike zone. That's an example of what you're talking about. Lorenzo Cain takes that big swing, but with 2 strikes, he kind of cuts it down a little bit.
On the ground to the left side, base hit. Cain is aboard with a leadoff single here in the 4th. That'll bring up Melky Cabrera.
Even though Daniel Norris is left-handed, the opposing teams have attempted more steals while he's been on the mound than any other pitcher on their staff. Lorenzo Cain can really run. He has 25 steals. He's only been caught twice this year. That's why I bring it up.
Cabrera lined out to the third baseman Romine his first time up. Ground ball to Romine this time, knocks it down. He'll go to second and they'll get the force there.
I think they might want to look at that to see if Machado was off that bag when he caught the ball. They waved it off. It's a nice job here by Dixon staying on the bag. Was a double play ball, but wants to bobble. They weren't going to get 2.
Really good play by Machado. Here is Eric Hosmer. Bouncing ball to third. Nice backhanded pick. Romine to second one. That's a double play. 5-4-3 to end the inning. And a reminder to see the Tigers play the Mariners in Seattle next year. The Tigers vacation packages include luxury accommodations, tickets for 4 games at Safeco Field, exclusive brunch with Tigers personnel, and a whole lot more. If you'd like more information, go to tigers.com/vacations. Here come the Tigers now as we go to the 5th inning. Bottom 3 coming up against Danny Duffy. It'll be Romine, Presley, and Jones. Romine had a single in his first at bat. Ball 1 high. Duffy now is 7 for 16 in first pitch strikes. Two and 0.
Andrew should get a pretty good fastball to hit right here from Duffy on the 2-0 pitch. He did at 91, right down the middle.
Took a big swing. The 2-1. 3-1 now on Romine, who extended his hitting streak to 5 in a row with Presley waiting on deck. And he walked him on a 3-1 pitch high, and that's going to mean Romine reaches for the 2nd time. Second walk as well for Duffy. Here is Presley, who fly to center field in his first at bat. Lefties this year came in batting just 160 against Duffy. Strike 1.
You take a look at Cuthbert, the third baseman, in on the cut of the grass, not going to allow Alex Presley to bunt for a base hit.
Ball 1, 1-1 on Presley.
Here's why Presley is the only left-hander in the Tigers starting lineup tonight. Duffy usually has his way against lefties.
3-hit game last night for Presley. Soft floater into left field. That's going to drop. Base hit.
And Presley just gets it done, doesn't he?
He just drops them in everywhere. Little blooper that time to left, and that's his 4th hit of the series. Shortened him 1. That's his 5th hit of the series. And he is now 5 for 9. 2 on, nobody out.
He has had a great month of September.
Jones a strikeout victim in his first at bat. And Jacoby sends a ground ball foul to third. Tigers now have 4 hits on the scoreboard.
And the ball does not have to leave your bat at 100 miles an hour for you to get a hit either, partner. That one left Presley's bat at 76 miles an hour.
Was that the exit velocity?
Exit velocity, 76 miles an hour.
Which is what makes baseball great, because Hosmer hit one at what, 114? And he was out. Duffy righty with the 0-1. Iglesias waiting on deck. The next pitch will be number 70 for Duffy.
Their outfielders are playing very shallow against Jacoby Jones, who has power.
Ground ball, base hit left field. Romine rounding third. They send him home, and the throw not in time. RBI single for Jacoby Jones, and the Tigers grab a 1-0 lead. Thirteenth RBI of the year for Jones.
Changeup at 82, and Jacoby waited on it perfectly. Stayed back long enough, and he ripped that ball right past the shortstop, Escobar. Romine with a great secondary lead, great break off second base, able to score with a slide.
Still nobody out. Pick the stick. You had Jones, right?
Yeah, I took Jacoby today.
That'll work for you. There's a strike called on Jose Iglesias.
I need some help. Matt Shepard. Been beating up on everybody the last 3 days.
Been hot down the stretch.
He has been.
When it counts the most.
Yeah.
Popped him up. Left side of the infield. This will be a routine play. It's Cuthbert. And with the infield fly rule, 1 gone. Now Dixon Machado. Here's where the Tigers have kind of failed in this series. They've not been able to tack on and score that big inning where they get 3 or 4 runs. They've got 2 on here with 1 out. Machado with a ground out and a pop up. And he pops it up foul, back out of play.
Yeah, the Royals have 45 come from behind victories this year. Of their 78 wins, 58% of them from behind. So you want to score early and you want to score often against this team. That kind of speaks to your point. Tigers not able to tack on.
One and one on Machado. Tigers trying to snap a losing streak that right now is at 9 consecutive games, their longest since 2005. Swing and a miss. He was out in front of the changeup. 1-2. Tigers this year just 29 and 43 within the Central. Inning start with a walk to Romine, a Presley single, a Jones base hit to make it 1-0. And Butera has to go down to block that one. 3-2 now on Dixon.
And you wonder if Brad is entertaining the thought of starting the runners here. It'd be difficult, but might not be a bad gamble. I know Nicholas is in the on-deck circle, but you put some pressure on Dixon Machado to put the ball in play. And if he hits it on the ground, you stay out of the double play.
Runners hold on 3-2, rolled foul.
I mean, you got good speed out there. You got Presley, you got Jacoby Jones.
But as you mentioned, though, Nick is waiting on deck. And he right now has been your hottest hitter. Duffy again ready with the 3-2. And he walked in ball 4. That's going to load him up. It's the second walk in this inning. And Duffy struggling here in the 5th. Tigers fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app and take Fox Sports Detroit and Tigers baseball with you wherever you go. Well, they are loaded up now as Castellanos stands in. Strikeout and a ground out for Castellanos.
Nicholas Castellanos sitting on 96 RBIs this season. He can get to 100 right now.
Let's do it.
One big swing of the bat.
Ball one. Did you think at the beginning of the year that Nick had a chance to get to 100?
No, I did not.
I didn't either. I thought he'd be, you know, like an 80 or 90 guy tops. Now Duffy at 80 pitches, but he's got a real good chance this year to go beyond 100. Foul back 1-1.
And back-to-back changeups thrown to Castellanos and by Duffy.
Tigers got a run, and the RBI single by Jones. They've got him loaded up, and we have action now. It's McCarthy, the right-hander, heating up. 22 pitch innings so far for Duffy. Hauled inside to Nick. Now 2-1. Duffy's kind of lost it a bit in this inning with a couple of walks.
Command for the most part overall hasn't been great tonight. Several 3-ball counts, a couple of base on balls.
High, ball 3. McCann lurking on deck.
Here's where, if you're Castellanos, you could, if you want to, you could sit on one off-speed pitch only because there's one strike. And if he throws you a fastball, obviously you let it go. But you're just kind of guessing that maybe he's not going to challenge you here.
Full count now, 3-2.
He did challenge him with a 92-mile-per-hour fastball upstairs.
The next one for Duffy will be his 85th of the ball game. It'll be a big one with the bases loaded. Slice to right, foul. Nick Tardy there.
I just like what Nick does here with 2 strikes. Watch this front foot. He's not going to pick it up. He's just going to pick the heel up off the ground just to give himself a time to stay there on Duffy. Notice Nicholas doing quite a bit of that with 2 strikes lately. It gives you better balance, gives you a better base, and also gives you more time to recognize the ball over the plate.
Drill to left field. That ball is hit well. Gordon going back, and it's off the wall. 2 runs will score. They might get 3 out of this run of the plate. Not in time. Castellanos has driven in 3 with a double, and the Tigers lead 4-0.
He nearly got all 4 of them.
He just missed a grand slam home run.
Nice job with the lower half of the body. We just pointed out the fact that he keeps that foot on the ground, which gives him a really nice base, and Danny Duffy tried to sneak that changeup by Nick at 83, and Nick was waiting for that ball because he had the good balance.
Presley, Jones, and Machado come around to score, and that's going to be it for Danny Duffy. He'll be knocked out of the game here in the 5th inning. It's a Wallside Windows pitching change, 4-0 Tigers.
Off the left field gate. It's on the changeup 3-2, and after he makes contact with this ball, you can read his lips. He's telling the ball, get up. He wanted that grand slam bad.
And he just missed it. So Nick now with 99 RBIs this season. Tigers have opened up a 4-0 lead. And here is McCann. He'll send a ground ball to short. Backhanding there is Escobar. McCann is out on 1 pitch. Kevin McCarthy is the new hurler for KC.
And McCarthy is pitching in his 32nd game. He comes in with a pretty good ERA. Sits right at 3. 24 strikeouts. He's walked 11. McCarthy has a fastball that average velocity 92, but he can get up to about 95. He also has a slider and a changeup. No curveball.
Pulled to third base. Nice play there by Cuthbert. And a throw in time across the diamond to end the inning. Tigers get a big inning though. Score 4. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. Lead. Nicholas Castellanos very nearly hit a grand slam, and Matt Shepard now is happy about that last nearly blast, but it's opened up a little bit of a lead now for Shep.
Shep's had a wonderful 3 days. Oh, somebody turn his mic off, please.
Oh my goodness.
Nick was talking to it too, Shep.
Oh my goodness, this thing's gone
every
off the rails.
every time I get a couple points, man, you take over again. Where is it? You got 3 more days now.
Yeah, you do realize you got about 3.5 games to go. No, now you're just lying.
Ooh. Save that text, Shep. Save it. I bet he did.
Yeah, save it. Let's see it. Meanwhile, Norris is strikeout. Gutierrez out of there. Well, we'll continue to keep our eyes on pick and stick, but right now Matt Shepard is celebrating a little bit. Actually, he's gloating a little bit right now, but that's okay. Here is Escobar.
Get it in, Shep. Get it in. Oh,
Mickey,
you know.
Mickey York. Well, that's true. And he hadn't been around for a couple of weeks either. All right, 4-0 Tigers lead. Shep will check in with you a little bit later on. You just go gloat in the green room over there. All right, buddy. Probably heard them all through Southfield after that last
You know
couple.
it. You know it.
Meanwhile, how about Mr. Norris here? He's done some good work.
Not bad. Not bad today. Has not given up a run. He's only given up a couple of hits. We talked about the importance of this start for Norris and leaving healthy and taking that positive taste in his mouth when the season is over. Every player wants that.
Escobar fly to center in the second. And we'll get back out of play. 1-2 the count stays on the Royals shortstop.
What's more important, what's more impressive here is the pitch count of Daniel Norris. I mean, only 47 in the fifth.
He was at 40 through 4 innings.
Just to give you an example how impressive it is, in his last start, he threw 84 pitches in 4 1/3 innings. So he's already at that as far as the innings are concerned.
Tigers have 6 hits and the Royals have 2. There's the 2-2 and it'll bounce in 3-2 now on Escobar. Cuthbert waiting on deck. The Tigers have knocked Danny Duffy out of this game.
I wonder if they allowed him to get through 5 here today and then maybe take Daniel all out of the game, because it continues to walk a little gingerly around that mound after he throws a couple of pitches.
Lifted in the air to center field, and Jacoby Jones has room. 2 gone. Tigers season ticket holders, renew your season tickets now through October 6th to be eligible for our 30 prizes in 30 days raffle and the chance to win a once-in-a-lifetime fan experience. Go to tigers.com/seasons to renew.
You know that Tigers bullpen is hoping that Daniel could go as long as possible, because that bullpen, man, in the month of September, talk about being taxed. They have been taxed.
Yeah, they're dragging a bit right now. And they had to come on again last night. We saw Stump again last night. We saw Verhagen last night.
They have pitched so much in the month of September. Those two alone.
Soppold has thrown a lot this year. Swing and a miss. Oh, 2 the count on Chesler Cuthbert with 2 outs here in the 5th. 4-0. Tigers have the lead. There is right on cue Soppold warming up. You can tell, Rod, that he is gingerly walking around, and it would be nice to get him through 5 here. Ground ball, third base side on the charge Romine, and that's going to be a 1-2-3 inning. 5 in the books for Norris. Top of the 6th inning here at Kauffman Stadium. Daniel Norris between innings as he went back to the dugout, got some handshakes, so it appears his night's probably done. You see Daniel try to walk away from Brad. I don't think he wanted to hear the news that he's done. If indeed that is the case, 54 pitches to get through 5. He was 9 of 16 in first pitch strikes.
And one of the better games Daniel has pitched this year.
So here come the Tigers now. It'll be Holiday. Romine and Presley. First pitch driven in the air to right field, playable. Melky Cabrera, 1 pitch, 1 out. Daniel continues to get congratulations as you look at his numbers through 5 innings of work, no walks.
He's in line to get a win with the 5 innings that he's twirled here today.
Here is Romine. Single walk and a run scored for Romine. One and one. McCarthy game on in the 5th inning, got a couple of ground balls and then a fly out here from Holiday. One and two on Andrew. This is the 10th appearance this year that McCarthy has made against the Tigers alone. His ERA was 1.69 versus Detroit. Done some good work against the Tigers. And his ERA against the Central is under 2. Right back up the middle off the glove, but it's going to be fielded by Merrifield, and he'll throw him out. 2 gone.
Yeah, Romine broke his bat on this ball right back up the middle. Slowed down by McCarthy. Nice play by Merrifield. The more you watch Merrifield, the more you like him.
On both sides of the ball.
I have to admit, though, buddy, I'm a little sad, though, that I'm not going to get a chance to watch this cast of characters on this Kansas City Royals team perform in the future, because I enjoyed thoroughly watching this team play because they have a lot of great defenders, and I just love the way that they played the game. They always give you something to talk about.
Well, they went to the World Series in back-to-back years. They won it in 2015. Hosmer, Escobar, Kane, Perez, Moustakas.
They were always the threat to steal bases.
One and two now on Presley.
That's what happens, though, when you have really good players and they kind of outgrow the market that they start their careers in.
That bullpen that was at its apex was really good with Herrera and Davis and Holland. Hochevar was in there. Little chopper, foul.
It's got to be bittersweet for a lot of these fans over the weekend as well. I'm sure they'll have some big crowds to come out and say thank you to the players that may leave as potential free agents.
Presley takes strike 3, got him looking to end the inning. 1-2-3 for McCarthy.
Entire pitch by pitch. Daniel Norris pitched 5 frames here today. Had a really good curveball. He had good slider. He located his fastball much better than he has in recent memory. And because of that, 5 scoreless frames, only 2 hits given up. He did not walk a batter. Really good outing here today turned in by Daniel Norris. Also 9 of 16 in first pitch strikes.
So Norris done for the evening here in Warwick. Softball will take over out of the Tigers pen on a wall side windows pitching chain.
And Warwick has pitched quite a bit in the month of September. Overall this year, he's pitching in his 44th game, 43 strikeouts. He's walked 30. His numbers really have started to creep up a little bit in the month of August and September as he has maybe gotten a little worn down. I know Warwick would not make that excuse, but he has pitched a lot lately.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers are what they are in terms of how often the Tigers bullpen has pitched in really August and September. Mainly September. Paulo Orlando had a double in the 3rd. That'll back him out of there. 1 ball and 1 strike. Orlando, Gordon, and then Merrifield facing Soppold. Paulo Orlando this year suffered a fractured shin, which landed him on the disabled list. Batted .306 in the minors. 2-1. Soppold last went against the Twins on the 24th, a scoreless inning with 2 punch-outs. High fly ball into deep left. Presley to the track, to the wall, and gone. Paulo Orlando hit a homer in last night's game. He's gone deep again here tonight.
He has 2 extra base hits tonight. He doubled his first time up against the left field wall. And it did Orlando. Looked like a little slider or cut fastball that didn't do a whole lot, and Orlando put a pretty good swing on it.
Two homers this year in the major leagues, both against the Tigers in the last 2 nights. Ooh, way outside to Gordon, all the way to the backstop.
If you weren't with us a couple of innings ago, I told you that the Royals are one of the better teams in baseball at coming from behind to win games. They've done it 45 times this year, second only to the Los Angeles Dodgers. So they feel like they're always in the game.
Orlando hit a 2-1 pitch, 396 feet. Well, there's old Daniel Stump up again. Here's the 2-0. Whit Merrifield is waiting on deck. Gordon is 0 for 1 with a fly ball to right field in his only at bat. 4-1 ball game now. Tigers lead by 3. Gordon sends a ground ball to second. Machado. 1 gone. A Tigers #1 mascot Paws is available to appear at your next special event. Bring Major League Baseball fun to birthday parties, corporate events, parades, and school functions. To book Paws for your next special event, visit tigers.com/paws. And Paws was busy today celebrating the 108th birthday of Regina Ferrero of Farmington Hills.
Look out, Regina. 108?
108. Regina has 18 great-grandchildren.
Oh, man, congratulations.
And we're not done, Rod. 4 great-great-grandchildren.
Great?
Great. 108.
Man, that's special.
Thanks for being a Tigers fan, Regina. Sappold throws one in the dirt to Merrifield. Line out, ground out for Merrifield. Whit Merrifield has really become a very good story here in Kansas City, as you see Alcantara warm up with stuff now. Merrifield not once in his minor league career ever appeared in the top 10 in their prospect list. And he's a guy that spent 6 years in the minors, didn't get to the big leagues until he was in his late 20s. And that's pulled foul. And so I guess in some ways you root for guys like this who toil in the minors without really any high accolades, and he'd come to the big leagues and, man, he's become a really good player.
Well, he's a guy that has no ego. I mean, when he was at college at South Carolina, his freshman year, he was a starting center fielder. And then a young man by the name of Jackie Bradley Jr. showed up, which meant that Merrifield had to play some infield and some outfield, but he never sulked, partner. He just went on to help them win a College World Series.
And Jackie Bradley, I guess, so the quote was, that's just who Whit is, man. He could play anywhere, anytime, and he's happy to do it.
In AAA a couple of years ago, Merrifield played 6 different positions for the Omaha Royals. 6 different positions. So they thought he was going to be a guy that moved all over the place, but he got here and he's hit so well, he's taken over the second base position on a daily basis.
Slice to the line, Castellanos. 2 gone. So Sappold gets a couple of outs after the Orlando homer. We'll bring up Lorenzo Cain. Tiger bullpen trying to hold on to this lead. Right now it's 4-1. Cain a single and a ground out.
Yeah, this much we do know. Lorenzo will be up there swinging early and often, although he's walked a career high this year. He was much more patient earlier this season.
Right on cue. Ground ball to second. And that'll be it. They get a run in the homer by Orlando.
End of this season, the core 4 set to hit free agency for the Kansas City Royals. Talking about Eric Hosmer, Mike Moustakas, Alcides Escobar, and Lorenzo Cain. You know, a guy like Alcides Escobar, barring any, unforeseen injury creeping up, he's going to start 162 games for the 2nd consecutive season in a Royals uniform. And Ned Yost said, you know what? He lives for this. He's going to play 162. And we're doing the math on it. So here's Esky, won a Gold Glove here. also an all-star, 30 years old. If he successfully completes this season starting on 162, that'll put his streak at 333, which is only 2,299 behind Cal Ripken. So, you know,
he's on his heels, man.
I mean, he's right there.
Yeah, stranger things have happened, Johnny.
But it is pretty impressive. But you like to have a dependable guy like that. I know his offensive numbers haven't been very good, but as far as, you know, in the field, being able to get it done night in, night out, you know, one of the best gloves in the American League at that position.
Yeah, he is, Johnny, and we kind of touched on this a little bit last night as Jones swings and misses. You wonder how much of an effect playing every day has on Escobar's numbers offensively, because when Ripken was going through his record run of consecutive games played, there were whispers that some of the Orioles felt that maybe it was at the detriment of his performance.
Right.
And you just kind of wonder about that.
No, it's a great point. It's a great point. And I think you could draw a correlation. Now, you'd have to get the player to admit that to you. But
absolutely.
You know, in a situation like this, I remember even when the Royals were on their, you know, on their magical run there, 2014 and 15, you know, Escobar, Ned Yost at times was batting him in the leadoff, you know, position.
Right.
And it just worked. It worked during that postseason run. So, you know, again, I don't know if they'll be able to resign him because they've got Raul Mondesi, you know, that they could plug into that position. But they've got some tough decisions to make here. But Alcides for the last 7 years has been pretty good for the.
Well, he says he wants to stay here, Johnny.
I know he does.
He's one of the guys that have come out and said that he would like to continue to play here and to be a Kansas City Royal. And we were looking at all the teams out there in the big leagues. There's not many teams that need a shortstop. So, and that might work in the favor for Kansas City if indeed they want to bring Esky back.
Escobar played in 162 in the 2014 season and last year as well. That's line to center field where it's run down by Paulo Orlando.
They don't miss a beat as far as athleticism in center field when Kane is not out there. Kane probably gets more jumps and better jumps than Orlando does. He's been playing baseball a little bit longer, but if he does get a bad jump, that would be Orlando. He can make up for it with his speed.
We just got word from the truck. They were crunching the numbers. So basically, in order for Esky to catch Cal, he just had to play about 14 more seasons, which would put him at 44 from the shortstop position.
Every day for 14 more seasons, yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
So, hey, we're not saying it can't happen.
See, so you're saying there's a chance.
It ain't going to happen, Johnny.
Nope.
Okay, it's not happening.
It's not going to happen ever again in the game, I don't think.
There's some people that were telling us, Mario, that they believe that Escobar is the best shortstop that Kansas City's really ever had for a length of time. Best shortstop. I mean, they've had Patek, they've had UL Washington, they've had some other shortstops. For the length of time he's been there, they say he's been the best.
I don't know that I would disagree with that, do you?
I was starting to think about it. I mean, UL Washington's name came up, but he didn't play here as long.
1-2 on Machado. Two balls and 2 strikes.
Greg Gagne was a shortstop here for a moment.
Here's the 2-2 coming home. Outside, 3-2. Well, I can guarantee you this, Freddie Patek was not the tallest shortstop ever to play.
He was not.
Listed at 5'5", Freddie.
The play, too.
(3-2) on Dixon with a walk and run scored tonight. Meanwhile, McCarthy is coming on and has retired 7 straight after replacing Duffy. Should Machado reach, Castellanos on deck. Tigers lead 4-1. They scored all 4 of their runs in the 5th inning. And here's a glance at the box score. He walked him.
Well, just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, and it was brought to you by Miller Lite. Now, the last time Nicholas Castellanos stepped in the batter's box, he had 96 RBI, 4 shy of 100. Bases were loaded, and he nearly hit it out. He had to settle for a double and 3 RBIs. He now sits at 99, and a huge smile there by the Tigers' number 3 hitter.
Well, he's got a guy on base here with 2 outs. Nick extending his hitting streak to 6 straight and 28 of his last 30 ball games. Fouled away 0-1. I know a lot depends on the moves the Tigers make this offseason, but where do you envision Nick in the lineup next year for the Tigers, assuming Cabrera comes back and healthy?
Well, he could bat second, or he could bat 4th or 5th. I mean, he could bat right in the middle of the batting order behind Miguel. Miguel's going to bat 3rd. I mean, I would assume Miguel bats 3rd, but you never know. The new manager might want Miggy to bat 4th, but Castellanos will be somewhere right there in the middle of the order.
Waiting on a 1-0 from McCarthy.
Along with Jamer Candelario. Candelario might be better suited for the number 2 spot.
This year for Castellanos, 14 RBIs, 22 hits against the Royals. In the season series, this is the final meeting of the season between these 2 squads. Royals coming in at 1-9 the last 10 between the Tigers and KC.
There's Jamer and Efren Navarro.
A little bit outside, 1-2 on Nick.
Watch that front foot of Nicholas Castellanos with 2 strikes. He doesn't really pick it up. He doesn't have that same kind of leg kick. He's more down to the ground, trying to have a better base and not trying to get fooled.
Driven to left field on a line. Gordon coming over, base hit. Machado is on his way to 3rd base, and he is safe. Ball got away from Cuthbert. It'll be a single for Nick Castellanos, his 2nd hit. 1st and 3rd now with 2 outs.
Another pretty good swing there by Castellanos when he doubled off the gate for the 3 RBI. That was a changeup in the same location. That time it was a 92-mile-per-hour fastball that Nicholas was able to turn on. Good base running by Dixon Machado. He ran right in the face of Alex Gordon.
And McCarthy's night is done. Ned Yost will take him out of the game. Wallside windows pitching change. Sam Bernstein Law Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. Bell Tire, for tires and auto service, everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. And by Chevy, the only brand to earn J.D. Power Dependability Awards for cars, trucks, and SUVs 2 years in a row. Nighttime settling in here in Kansas City. The Tigers holding on to a 4-1 lead, trying to add to that advantage now as James McCann steps in against the lefty Ryan Buchter.
And Buchter throws a lot of fastballs. As a matter of fact, about 75% of the time he throws a fastball. Also will cut the fastball on occasion. He has a slider and a curveball, no changeup.
Buchter came over from the Padres along with Mauer to strengthen their bullpen for the pennant run. The 3 ERA is a Royal for Buchter. Fouled back, and the count now 1-1 on James McCann. Mack is 1 for 3, single, line out, and a ground out. Two and one the count on James. Tigers got all 4 of their runs in the 5th inning. RBI single by Jacoby Jones, a 3-run double by Castellanos. Outside, 3-1.
And Nicholas Castellanos at first base talking to Eric Hosmer. Those two played the high school baseball together. Nicholas was a sophomore when Eric was a senior.
Here's the 3-1. 3-2 now on McCann.
Dayton Moore, their general manager, told me a story that when he went to go watch Hosmer play Hosmer's senior year, and that day Hosmer closed out the game and Castellanos hit 2 home runs.
Huh. Great time.
Yeah, great time. Both guys from Florida.
And Nick will be on the run here on 3-2. There he goes, and it's skied in the air to right field. Melky Cabrera coming in, and that'll end the threat. No runs, hit a walk, 2 men left. Seventh inning, and the Red Cross depends on financial donations to provide disaster relief immediately. Help people affected by Hurricanes Harvey and Irma by going to redcross.org or texting the word Red Cross to 90999 to make a $10 donation. Melky Cabrera will lead things off. Daniel Stump is on now, and a wall side windows change. And Cabrera looks at a strike right at the knees, 0-1. Melky Cabrera, then Hosmer, and then Perez.
Last 7 days, he's been awfully busy. That would be Daniel. And it's not so much the pitches that you saw on the screen. It's all the getting up and sitting down while in the bullpen and the pitches that you might throw and not come into a game that makes it kind of taxing on a guy like Daniel Stump.
Taxing is a good word to use for the bullpen here in September in general. It'll dive inside. 1-2 now on Melky. Here is further proof. In the month of September, Tigers relievers have thrown over 2,000 pitches. That'll miss inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cabrera is 0 for 2. Tigers trying to hold on to a 3-run lead here. Had him lunging, and it's popped up. Machado to the grass, and 1 gone.
Can you imagine if the Tigers pitchers had been struggling as much as they had been struggling in the month of September without the expanded rosters? Oh my God.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, even with all the guys the Tigers have in the bullpen, they have really gone deep into that pen, but without the extra arm. Yikes. Here is Hosmer. I do see baseball in the future, though, making a change in terms of how September call-ups will be handled. I think that Brad has talked about that maybe in the future you would have a total of 28 guys that would be eligible. You can call up as many as you want, but have just a certain amount in every series available to you. That way it would not affect service time for the guys that are called up, but it's more of a same type of game you've been playing the first 4 or 5 months of the year.
Yeah, you play a game one way with one set of rules for 5 months, and then all of a sudden the rules change.
The 0-2 is a bouncer right back to the mound, knocked down by Stump. Hosmer is out, 2 gone. Hardy and Verhagen warming up.
Tigers coming into play here tonight. Their bullpen had an earned run average of 7.12. 7.12. And in the history of the game, I mean, you start looking at the worst bullpens of all time. I mean, they're close to that. I mean, there's some crazy.
I mean, you know, 5 is high.
Yeah.
6 is, well, way up there. 7, you just don't see them. Stump at 95 with that fastball on Butera.
And we knew there'd be a lot of growing pains. We just didn't anticipate this many of those.
Going into September, we knew wins would be tough to come by, but right now the Tigers working on just their 5th win if they can get it here tonight. 5th win of the month. Meanwhile, 2-0 on Butera. Fly ball in the air toward left field. Jacoby making the call and the catch, and Stump with a 1-2-3 inning. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. baseball presented by T-Mobile. The Chicago Cubs, 3 consecutive postseason berths now for the first time since 1906, 7, and 8.
Wasn't easy for him, but they got there.
And how about J.D. Martinez? He just continues to swing it.
1 home run shy of a record that was set back in 1927, and Albert Bell did it in 95. That's 17 homers in the month of September.
Matt Cain set to retire following his start on Saturday. The longtime Giant. Here is John Hicks to get things rolling in the 8th. Tigers lead 4-1. Buchter goes back to work, and Hicks dances out of the way, 1-0. Hicks has a walk and a steal in this game, otherwise 0 for 2. Diamondbacks were in town last night, and J.D. Martinez and the D-backs actually staying at the same team hotel as the Tigers, and they got together for kind of an old group photo here.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of people in the lobby last night, and everybody was very happy to see J.D. Martinez. It's the entire Tigers traveling party.
It's a base hit to left field for Hicks.
And of course, you know, Tigers fans always travel very well. So, and J.D. Martinez was a very busy man taking selfies last night.
It'll bring up Brian Holiday.
The Arizona Diamondbacks don't believe they have a shot at retaining J.D. Martinez with all the numbers that he continues to put up. They don't know if they have enough money in their piggy bank to bring him back.
I think they were looking at J.D. as a nice little compliment to Paul Goldschmidt in their lineup, but all of a sudden he's just outproduced everybody.
When is the last time we talked about the Arizona Diamondbacks on a daily basis and we did not mention Paul Goldschmidt's name?
Right.
For about a month now, he has been non-existent since JD's been there. And what's funny, though, I was talking to some of my broadcast buddies from back in the day in Arizona, and we were talking about that very thing, that as good as Goldschmidt is, J.D. Martinez is taking that city by storm.
In the air down the left field line, foul. Will it get to the seats? Gordon gives it a shot. That's out of play.
It's going to be some decent outfielders to hit the free agent market in the offseason. Some really good ones. Kane here in Kansas City. And we've talked about J.D. Martinez. He's going to hit the market. Somebody's going to get a bargain in Cargo Gonzalez. He's starting to play well right now, but he's had a difficult season. But he's going to be a free agent as well. And Jay Up, I'm starting to hear rumors about he's thinking about opting out of his deal. That would add to that list right there.
Jay Bruce on that list doing good things with Cleveland after the trade. But I hear you on Carlos Gonzalez. I think someone's going to buy low on him, and he may have a comeback season next year.
Because he's going to sign a one-year deal to go somewhere so he can put up some good numbers so he can cash in the following season, because he did not have a great year.
We're talking about J.D. Martinez overshadowing Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt has knocked in 120 runs this year.
I know, man.
And no one's talking about it.
And he's in the MVP conversation, but J.D. Martinez has pretty much quieted all the Goldschmidt talk in the desert.
Meanwhile, it's a battle here as Holiday fouls off another.
The only question is, partner, there was a lot of outfielders and a lot of big bats in the offseason last year as free agents, and a lot of those guys didn't get the deals they thought they were going to get. I wonder if it changes this offseason.
I don't know. I mean, it was a pretty good group that we showed you there, but it'll be interesting.
And it was a group of, most of those guys are pretty much right in the prime of their careers.
Again, the 1-2. Instead, he goes back to first. He had Hicks leaning, but he got back. Kelvin Herrera warming up in the KC pen.
Oh, he's Kelvin now, huh?
Yeah. That's what I'm going with. I was told it was Kelvin. It might change by
next year we come back, it'd be Kelvin again.
It might change by the 9th inning tonight. Who knows?
And one lady in Cleveland will be proud of us, though, because we have kind of changed the way that we say Candelario's name.
Candelario.
What was her name,
right.
Betty?
No, I don't remember her name. I don't think it was Betty.
No?
No, she was Dominican, and she said it's Candelario, not Candelario. Ah, runner going, and it's fouled away. So we changed for her. Was it Betty? Maybe it was Betty.
I thought it was Betty.
It? Okay, I'll go with Betty.
Where's Johnny Kane? He was on that trip. He should know.
That's right.
He's got that young mind. Where's Johnny at when you need him?
Probably bellied up to a barbecue bar right now. Having some burnt ends. The 2-2 is popped up. This one will stay in play. It's Hosmer, and finally Holiday retired, one gone. Here's Romine. 4 runs on 8 Tigers hits, 1 run, just 3 hits tonight for KC. Daniel Norris was good. He lasted only 5 innings, but he was good in those 5. Single for Romine, a walk for Romine, and a run scored for Romine. Romine gearing up for perhaps that final day of the season when he will play all 9 positions in one game. Looks like since the Twins have clinched, that Brad Ausmus will give him the go-ahead to do that. And he'll become only the 5th player ever to do that.
It will also be the final game that Brad Ausmus manages the Detroit Tigers.
Romine fouls it off. How far in the process do you think Alavila is right now in terms of trying to put together a list of potential managers next year?
Oh, I think he's pretty far down that road, to be honest with you. I think Al probably had an idea that the relationship between he and Brad was going to come to an end this year, even before they announced it. So I'm sure that he and a lot of his people, his chief lieutenants, they've compiled a pretty nice list of some guys they'll go over, and they'll probably reduce that list before they interview all of them.
Romy chased up and out of the zone there, 0-2.
Al also said that a lot of these Tigers coaches, whether it be Dave Clark at third base, whether it be Lloyd McClendon, who is now the bench coach, whether it be Omar Vizquel over at first base, all 3 guys have dreams of managing someday in the big leagues. Lloyd has already done it a couple times, so he's going to give those guys an interview too. So I thought that was a nice gesture for Al.
Lloyd managed, of course, the Seattle Mariners to the Pittsburgh Pirates in the big leagues.
So he has experience. He also managed down in AAA last year, Lloyd McClendon.
The 1-2. Ground ball, third base side, Cuthbert. He'll go to second, 1, and a double play.
Another double play.
5-4-3, inning over. Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives to Motor City. And by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. Here's our Comerica Bank game summary tonight from Kauffman Stadium. Daniel Norris goes 5 innings, 2 hits, no runs. Another big night for Nick Castellanos. 2 out of 4, 3-run double, which highlighted the 5th inning for the Tigers. And Orlando has gone deep for the Royals. Here come the Royals now. It's going to be Escobar here in the bottom of the 8th. And he looks at ball 1 from Drew Verhagen. The new right-hander comes out of the bullpen.
23rd game now for Drew Verhagen, and I bet half of those have been in the month of September.
It'll dip low and away. Breaking ball there. Efren Navarro has also come on to play defensively at first base as you look at the last 7 days for Verhagen. A 20-pitch outing on Friday. Driven in the air toward left center field. Jacoby on the run, still going back. Warning track to make the catch.
It's kind of fun watching the youngster Jacoby Jones patrol center field. I was talking to Jax Robertson, who is one of the scouts for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and he was talking about Jacoby Jones and how much he liked Jacoby when Jacoby was in their organization before the Tigers got him. He said in college Jacoby Jones not only played some shortstop, but he played some center field, and he also played some second base. So Jacoby played all over the place at LSU.
Very versatile, especially when you combine center field with shortstop. It'll bend in for a strike. 0-1.
Jacoby is one of those guys that could play anywhere on the diamond. He could play all 4 infield positions and most definitely play all 3 outfield positions. Those guys are rare.
Cuthbert is 0 for 2. Ooh, way out in front.
Real nice breaking ball there thrown by Drew. He's had a good curveball since he's come up from the minors. He throws it about 78 to 80 miles an hour. And then you back that up with a 95-mile-per-hour fastball. You're going to get some swings that look like that one that Chesler just took.
Tigers pitching tonight has limited the Royals offense to 3 hits. That is it. There's Navarro now at first base.
Efren's got a pretty good glove over there at first.
Slice to right, base hit. Opposite field single for Cuthbert.
Last night, Verhagen came in the game, and the first batter that he saw was Orlando, and he threw him 3 straight curveballs, the third of which it landed in the left field seats. First home run of the season for Orlando, who has also homered again here tonight.
That home run put the Royals on top 4-3 last night. Doubled and a homer in this game for Orlando. Ball 1.
I wonder if he will throw him that same curveball here tonight. You can't be afraid to throw it.
Two and 0. Gordon waiting on deck. Tigers tonight have gone with Soppold, Stump, and now Verhagen, after Norris gave them 5 innings this evening. Sliced, foul, and just foul to right field. That probably scores the run if it stays fair.
we know it would have been a triple for Orlando. That much we do know. How close was it?
There is more action in the Tigers pen. Hardy and Shane Green. Fouled out of play. 2-2 on Paulo Orlando.
He threw Orlando 3 straight curveballs yesterday. The third one on the 2-0 pitch left the building for a solo home run. In the 4 pitches in this sequence, all fastballs to Orlando. Has not thrown him a breaking ball.
Orlando with 2 out of the 4 hits that the Royals have.
And both extra base variety. A double and a homer.
Fastball at 94 there. It was low and in, and Orlando just got a piece of it.
Might as well spin one up there. Just locate it. Let Orlando hit it hard right to Iglesias for the 6-4-3 double play.
He got this all mapped out.
Yep. Let me see if he does it though. Here it comes. Curveball.
Little chopper. It's going to go to third instead. There is one. Relays in time. They got the double play.
Did I say 5-4-3 or 6-4-3?
You said 5-4-3. I heard you. It was clear as day. Good job. Trying to hold on to this one. They lead 4-1 as we go to the 9th inning. Here is the upcoming matchup presented by Wallside Windows. It is on to Minneapolis, where Matthew Boyd and Kyle Gibson will get together tomorrow night.
And Matthew Boyd has been pitching well down the stretch. He comes in 6-10 overall, but his last few outings have been very good. And meanwhile, Kyle Gibson's kind of turned it around over there in Minnesota, and he's one of the reasons why, Mario, they're going to be playing in October.
Didn't think they had enough starting pitching. I just didn't. But you're right. Gibson has turned it on. Barrios has been good. Santana. And they are going to the postseason. Presley will get things started here as we go to the 9th inning. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Kelvin Herrera is into the ball game now here in the 9th.
Herrera's got a big arm, and that first fastball at 98, he can get all the way up to triple digits. And it's an easy upper 90s fastball. He also has a nice breaking ball and a changeup. He's been in 62 games this year, 55 strikeouts. He's walked 20. It's a high earned run average for a guy that has the skill set that Herrera has. Do it, Omar.
Vizquel picking another one down there at first base. He picked one last night as well.
He used 2 hands today, though, for the kiddies at home watching.
Yeah, more fundamentally sound tonight.
Yeah. I still got it.
Here's the 0-2.
Oh, do it, Press.
Oh, it's caught this time by Escobar. I thought he was going to loop another one in there.
I did too. Escobar stole that one from him.
One gone.
Escobar's got that long, rangy body. Left his feet, made a nice grab. He just looks like a shortstop, doesn't he?
He does.
Long, rangy body, long arms. He's got a great throwing arm.
Jacoby Jones will stand in. Strike one on Jacoby. Single RBI run scored tonight in 3 at-bats. In there, a strike at the bottom of the zone. Now 0-2.
First pitch was 99. Second pitch was 98 to Jacoby.
Laid off that slider there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Herrera earlier this year was closing games for the Royals. Swing and a miss, and that'll be the 3rd strikeout of the night for Jones. 2 gone. Closer Shane Green is going to come into this game when we get to the bottom of the 9th. Here's Iglesias. Shattered bat, rolled back to the mound, and that's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for Escobar, which means we go to the bottom of the 9th. Down to a 4-1 lead in this one, and MLB.com at bat is your #1 mobile app for live Tigers baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Tigers home screen icons, app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, broadcast, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat today. Well, it's going to be Shane Green to come on and try and close it out for the Tigers.
Shane Green has not had many opportunities to save games this month. You can see he's just had 2 opportunities. He's saved 1 of those.
Nine, 1 and 2 to face him. It'll be Gordon to lead things off. Then Merrifield and then Kane. Fly out, ground out for Alex Gordon. Strike 1. In there, a strike called at the top of the strike zone, 0-2. Tigers 3 outs away from snapping that 9-game losing streak. They win here tonight, and that'll keep them from losing 100 this year. The 0-2 fouled away. On to Minneapolis next, a 3-game series over the weekend to wrap up the season for the Tigers. Gordon stays alive. Tigers this evening have used Suppold, Stump, Verhagen, and now Green here in the 9th inning. Pulled to first and gobbled up there by Navarro for the outs. 1 away here in the 9th inning. Top of the order coming up now. It's going to be Whit Merrifield. He is 0 for 3 in this game. Royals have managed only 4 hits tonight, and the Tigers have scored all 4 of their runs in a single inning. That was back in the 5th. Line to left. That's going to be a base hit. Merrifield trying to get something going here in the 9th with a 1-out single. And now the number 2 hitter coming up, Lorenzo Cain. 5th hit of the game now for KC. Cain is 1 for 3. He singled in the 4th inning. Ball one.
Lorenzo Cain will not get cheated here if Shane Green decides to throw him a 1-0 fastball. Cain has a pretty good idea. It's going to be in the mid-90s. That's pretty much where every fastball Green has thrown so far in this inning. It has registered at 95. Ooh, good slide piece.
Green had a 13-pitch effort way back last Friday, 6 on Wednesday, but a whole lot of zeros in between. Hadn't really thrown a whole lot. And that has been the case since he took over the closer's role. The 1-1.
Tough to stay sharp as the closer when you're not getting as many reps as you normally would get when your team is going out and winning 14, 15 games in a month. Helps your closer to stay a lot sharper. He's only had 2 save opportunities in the month of September.
Sliced out of play. 2-2 now on Cain. Talking about Cain being a free agent, there was some rumblings that the Rangers could be interested in him. They've asked about him several times, apparently in trade talks. So as he hits the market in the offseason, that potentially could be a stop for him.
I could see that. John Daniels likes athletic players.
And he would qualify.
Two-way players.
Green with the 2-2. Full count now, 3-2.
Well, they say if you throw it 2-2, you may as well come back and throw that same pitch 3-2.
Melky Cabrera on deck, and then it would be Hosmer.
I don't know if Merrifield will run or not, but it would be very risky. And because a strikeout might just end the game. And I don't know if they want to do that with Eric Hosmer and with Melky in the on-deck circle and Hosmer behind him.
Runner is going, and it's ball 4 low, and now the Royals have 2 on with 1 out. And the tying run coming to the plate in Melky Cabrera. He is 0 for 3 in this game.
.250 is Melky Cabrera against Shane Green in their careers. This Royals team grounds into a lot of double plays, more than any team in the American League. They've already grounded into a couple of here tonight. Another one would be lovely.
Melky's got a boatload of them.
Yep.
17 double plays he's knocked into. Let's get a ground ball here and get a victory. Ball 1. Hosmer lurking on deck. There is only 1 out with 2 on for the Royals.
Shane not necessarily doing himself any favors by falling behind a dangerous fastball hitter like Melky Cabrera.
One ball and 1 strike on Cabrera. Inning started with a line out from Gordon that is singled by Merrifield and a walk to Cain. Cabrera has 17 homers this year. Here's the 1-1. Bouncing ball to second should do it. There's one. Relay to first, a double play, and the Tigers will win here tonight in Kansas City as they break a 9-game losing streak.
Very nicely done.
Let's go to the Call Sam Studios. Matt Shepard with Tigers Live postgame.